Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
I'm Cindy.
I'm Alison.
And we have a combined 55 years of experience working with children, families, and experts in early education.
We are not random influencers.
No, we are not. Whether you are new or have been our podcast peeps since 2018, we are thrilled you found us. Good Monday, preschool peeps.
Hi, peeps.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Indeed.
And I know that Allison has some places to shout out to start us off.
Yay, I'm excited. We are shouting out Ontario, Canada today.
A
Hello.
lovely place.
Yes,
Thank you,
a lovely
Ontario,
place.
Canada.
And somewhere I've been.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
We're in West Virginia. Hello to the folks in the upper panhandle of West Virginia. Thank you very much.
I've been to the Virginias, but never Weirton, West Virginia.
West Virginia is in the upper panhandle. So it's in that sliver between Pennsylvania and Ohio. So you might have driven through
Maybe.
that panhandle, but maybe not through Weirton because I'm not sure what highway goes through there. But yeah, there's a whole steel mill there, or there used to be.
Wow, we're getting a whole tour.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
one of my friends from college lived there, so I went there to visit her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got the whole tour.
There you go. She knows the whole thing now. So thank you for listening or watching or whatever you're doing that lands you in our statistics. Yes. We appreciate it.
Yes.
We hope you will all keep listening. You never know when your place is going to be shouted out.
That's true.
Right?
That is true.
So today we wanted to talk about some modern packages and maybe some skill building that isn't happening because of these modern packages. I'm not saying don't buy these packages. I'm not saying protest. I'm not saying go on strike against these packages. What we're saying is if your child uses this sort of tool or package or object or material, you need to know that in the past, before it existed, there was more skill building because of the old-fashioned packaging or item.
Yes.
And so there are some skills you're going to need to intentionally work on with your children.
Correct.
Or just some ways of understanding the world that you're going to need to work on with your children. And if we're going to talk about understanding the world, we'll start with the one that inspired this episode.
Yes.
So I often visit early childhood programs and I do credential visits and I do all sorts of things. And I'm often there when the lunches are taken out, right?
Yeah.
And there are a couple of things in these lunches where if you think about it, it's impacting how children kind of view eating and the world and their skills. Yes. And I was in a program and they were taking out box after box after box of those boxes where that are divided, like bento boxes, right? Where they're divided and you put one type of food in one slot and another type of food in another slot and another type of food in another slot. Never shall the food touch.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. And a teacher looked at me and said, I love these boxes. And I said, yeah, they're really great, right? I wish I had them when I was young or when my children were young. She said, I love these boxes. And we've noticed that when the children don't have these boxes, they get very upset when their different foods touch. And I was like, no way.
It's not something I ever thought about until you texted me that story. It's really, I was like, oh, cool. How convenient is this? You're putting it in different compartments. That's really cool. They didn't exist when we were kids. All of our food got smashed because the thermos would fall over. You know what I mean? But like that, I never thought that it would cause a child.
Oh my gosh. I'm just sitting there like, no. I said, seriously?
So we're having them be OCD. Is that what that's like?
I mean, you're not giving them a disorder, but I think what you're developing an expectation that my different foods don't touch each other. So if you go eat somewhere else and the foods are touching each other. So just out of curiosity, I asked someone who has young children, like, do you use this sort of food container? And she said, oh yes, they're great. And I said, so what happens at home at dinner? And she's like, come to think of it, he does get upset when the foods are touching.
Right, because remember when we were kids, they did have those plates that they would be separated for dinner.
It was like the prehistoric bento box.
Yeah, that's where they existed, but I didn't have one of those.
I didn't either.
All right, so I guess maybe parents do that at home too. I don't know, but it's not ideal everywhere. Like if you go out to a restaurant, they're not going to have separate plates or bento boxes or whatever.
I don't know, but I was like, wow, okay.
I never
they don't have it.
Yeah.
They don't have it, so the children get upset.
Yeah, then they get upset.
Right?
Right.
They get upset. So just so you know, you may have to have intentional conversations with children, letting them know that It's okay if food touches.
Yes. Yeah, or maybe it's like,
Unless it really offends them if they do have some sort of thing about it. But I
It
mean,
might be.
so what I'm
But-
betting is these young children don't know.
They
It's
just
okay
don't
for your
know.
lunch foods to touch.
right, because probably from the time they've been in school, they've always had that kind of lunchbox. So they maybe don't realize that lunch could be done a different way.
Yeah, at least lunch. Maybe they know dinner touches.
Right. Like that, but
But
they
at least
associate
lunch.
this way.
Yeah. So you may have to have some intentional conversations and make sure that at home, I don't want to upset your children, but maybe you just avoid using that box at home,
Yes.
right?
That makes sense.
I
Yeah.
don't know. But it just
Or-
struck me. It struck me.
It does,
And then you
yeah.
brought up another one that I also saw during snack
Oh,
time
the
when I was in a
pouches?
program.
The
Yes, go ahead.
pouches. So those applesauce pouches or those Go-Gurt kind of pouches make it so like now to eat applesauce, they're just squeezing something and it's going shooting straight into their mouth. And I've noticed that children, when you give them an actual like bowl of applesauce, say they do not know how to scoop with a spoon to put it in their mouth because they're so
Fascinating.
used to squeezing things.
That's
Yeah.
fascinating. I was in a program last week, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So the school gives out snack, and they
Yes.
gave every child an applesauce pouch.
Yes, a pouch.
Oh my gosh, so interesting.
And I get that that's very convenient, especially if you're like traveling in the car. Here's a pouch. It's
or in
not
a
as
in an
messy,
early
or-
childhood
it's-
program,
yeah,
there's no
it's
spilling.
Not to me. I have other issues with those that are not skill things. More
Do
like
you?
yeah, because you don't know what's inside of there. Like I opened up one and there was mold inside of it.
Ew.
Yeah, and the kid was eating it, and
Oh,
I was like, "Why is that
no.
black? Spit it out!" Yeah, so because you
Wow.
can't see
How
it.
old was that?
I don't think it was even
Ew.
expired yet, but there was
Ew.
mold in it, and so
Okay,
ever
that-
since then I was like,
ew.
"Ugh." I was like, okay, well, but when you open up an applesauce, like a what are those called? Not a bowl, but you know what I mean,
Jar?
a jar.
You're welcome.
You thank you. You can see what you're scooping out, so you know if there's mold in there or not. But like,
Oh my goodness, my phone is ringing.
technology,
Sorry.
guys.
Sorry,
Technology.
folks. Yeah.
Yeah, so but I noticed that children don't know how to use a spoon. I gave a child at lunch a yogurt that he bought, from the cafeteria, and he was using his hand to eat the yogurt because he did not know how to use a spoon. And I think it's because they're so used to like, I use my hands to scoop not scoop, but like push the yogurt out. So I don't think they know how to use utensils necessarily. So if you're going to use those pouches, which are cool because it's easy for packing lunch or it's easy at the child care center to send those out, make sure you're also intentionally teaching them how to use utensils for meals so that they know how to use a spoon or a fork and that not everything is a handheld item.
Yeah.
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 So what else comes in those patches?
Yogurt, applesauce yogurt. What else have I seen? I think that's almost it. And I'm not sure how that came about. Probably out of convenience. Like you don't
Yeah, maybe.
need to have a utensil. You don't need to open it
is
up.
super convenient. Yeah.
It's not as messy, right? Like, and it's true.
Again, we're not saying don't buy them.
I'm not saying don't buy them.
What we are saying is also give them things in bowls that they need to scoop.
Because now
With a spoon.
Now if they do eat, say, pasta, you need to know how to scoop that up. Cereal, you need to know how to scoop that up. And they're not necessarily being taught how to use the utensils because everything's just handheld easy.
Along those lines,
Yeah.
I have two things to
Okay.
say. Okay, one of them is,
Okay.
you know what, like some people will, for example, open up a banana
Yes.
and cut it into slices
Yes.
and then give it to a
Okay,
child.
yes.
I think it's very beneficial for children to know how to peel a banana.
Peel it open. Yes.
Peel it open, break a piece off.
Yes, break it
right?
off.
So we
Yeah.
have to be careful how much we're doing for them and how much they can actually do on their own.
That's true too.
Even
I
if it's not even in that sort of
Yeah, I always
food.
tell them to try first, and then if you've tried and you still need help, I will help you and teach you how to do it. And every day you try, and then every day you'll get better at it, and then one day you'll just be able to open it. And so, like the kids in my class are like, "I opened my Ziploc by myself." Yes, you did because you practiced, right? If you don't know how to do it, ask me. I will teach you. But then you need to practice it in order to know how to do it. So, but I think in today's world, there is a lot of that. Let me cut this for you. Let me open this for you. And I get, you're trying to make mealtime go faster maybe a little bit. But there's skills in this. There's good fine motor skills. It's good independent skills. If you can open up your banana all by yourself, that's like a joyous thing for these kids, you know? So like,
Yeah.
but if you're just constantly doing everything for them, they will just rely on somebody else to always be doing it for them.
Can I name a non-food product
Yes.
that occurs to me as we talk about this,
Yes.
as we discuss it? It's very helpful when young children have shoes with Velcro because they can put them on and off on their
Yes.
own.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's taking longer for children to learn about lacing because they have not seen people do it consistently. I don't expect most early learners to be able to lace a shoe yet or tie a lace.
No.
But they do need to witness us doing it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So in order to see how we're manipulating it, they have to
Yes.
watch it.
Yeah.
So if they consistently have shoes with Velcro
Yeah.
and they've never seen us tie shoes,
Yeah.
and then we go to teach them how to tie shoes when they're, I don't know, 20.
20.
They're going to be so confused by
I
this.
think there also might be like, why bother? I can just get Velcro shoes, right? But I also think even if you do have Velcro shoes for your child, teach them how to put them on and teach them how to Velcro them in. Like, there's independent skills there, right?
Yeah,
and then
but it's
once-
not the same as like
it's not
picking
the
up
same
a
as
shoelace and lacing.
lacing it. And if they're not seeing you do that on a daily basis, then they're going to be like, well, what's the point of learning it? Right?
Yeah.
Like, my shoes have Velcro. I don't need to learn that.
That's true.
You know?
That's
Like,
very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about this packaging now. So now we have to talk about you need to intentionally practice. So
Yes.
the use of a spoon, for example, takes fine motor strength and coordination.
Yep.
So we need to build
Hand-eye
that
coordination.
hand-eye coordination,
Yes, yeah.
hand-mouth coordination.
Coordination. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The whole thing with the food is just making sure children know this is not the common thing that
Right.
foods don't touch.
Right.
The common thing is that foods actually can touch, but at
Right.
lunchtime we're giving you this to keep everything safe as we
Safe.
move your lunch around.
Right, right. Because there's a lot of movement when you're eating lunch, right? So
Yeah.
like, and when we were kids, that didn't happen. Your sandwich got squished if your thermos fell over. So I think
It did.
I think a lot, and we ate it anyway, you know. And I
did.
think a lot of parents have like maybe PTSD about that or something.
But you know what?
and
It's also good to give children things like the Ziploc bags so
I
they know
agree.
how to operate
They
them.
need to know how to. I always said, like, especially if your kid is about to go to a school where they're in a big cafeteria, right?
Yeah.
Okay, to practice at home for the whole summer, this is what your lunch is going to be contained into. Can you open it?
Right.
And
Can you open this?
If you cannot, then we need to find a different way. Or we're going to practice every day until you can open it. Because when you're in that big cafeteria, there's sometimes one lunch aid, maybe two lunch aids for that whole cafeteria. And they might not be able to get to you right away to get that open for you. And you then now have 5 minutes to eat. So it's important for you to teach your child how to open all the containers, as cute as they may be. Like the bento boxes, those are hard to open. I have trouble opening some of them. They're like locked and stocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Some of
so
the thermoses are so hard to
very
open.
hard to open. Even some of the Ziploc bags, like those
Yeah.
reusable bags, are hard to open. Make sure they can open up everything that's in there. And if they cannot, find a different way so that they can eat.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It kind of goes along with, you know, if your children are going to be going to school and they're going to be using the toilet, they need pants they can pull up.
Thank you. Yes.
You know, so they need
Yes.
lunches. They need
Yeah.
to learn how to open all these different
All the
kinds of
containers.
containers
Yeah.
because as they get older, and you know what? Oh my gosh, there was a child, okay, and the school was giving out grilled cheese sandwiches
Yeah.
as part of their lunch, and the grilled cheese sandwiches were wrapped in tin foil
Yeah.
from the vendor.
Okay. Yeah.
Vendor delivered them hot.
Yeah.
They were in tin foil. They put this tin foil sandwich in front of a 3-year-old who just sat there and started crying, and the teacher said, "What's the matter? Like, what's the matter?" And he didn't know how to unpeel the
Oh,
tin
he didn't know how
foil.
to do it to the foil.
He didn't know how to do the foil.
Yeah.
And so the teacher said, "Let me show you. Look, you
Yeah.
open up the foil. Your sandwich is in there." He
Yeah.
thought that he was giving
Got
up.
no
I don't know
sandwich.
what.
He got no sandwich.
Yeah, he was just in there like, "What do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know how to."
But
They have to know how to do this,
Yeah,
folks.
and I think presenting the food in a different way. Like if you are at home and your child's about to go to a school where they have
Yes.
lunch, it might be in tinfoil one day, it might not the next day. So like show them like, hey, let's go to a restaurant and see how this is packaged this way. We had to take this out.
Yes.
And when you go to school, it might be packaged in something else and you need to take it out. It's not that there's no sandwich in there. It's that you have to unwrap. And if you need help with the unwrapping, you ask a teacher. Like you need to talk this through.
100%.
Otherwise, they don't know.
They don't know.
They really don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah.
So here's what I want you all to think about. I want you to think about what were the things I knew how to do at lunchtime? What were the things I knew how to do in regard to dressing myself?
Yes.
What were the things that I knew how to do throughout my day during snack time? Because those were the only containers we had when we
Yeah,
were young.
yeah.
So we had to learn how to manage them.
Yeah.
And what containers like that are not being used today?
Right.
Like what's being used instead? And so what skills are the children not gaining?
Yeah.
Because all of this is so convenient. But it doesn't support I'm not saying it's any worse. I'm just saying it's different.
It's different.
It's not it's just
It's
a different
different.
skill building. I know you know what we're going to get now. We're going to get a bunch of people hopefully writing to us saying, you're so right about those lunch boxes and those pouches. Like I've been thinking it and nobody
know.
said it out loud. So here we are on How Preschool Teachers Do
Yes.
It on our podcast, saying it out loud.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
That's true.
Let's just shout it out to the
Shout it out
universe.
to the universe.
Which is a lot better than what a lot of people shout out to the universe about early childhood and raising children.
1000% correct.
So we're just shouting out some advice here.
Yeah.
And again, disclaimer, we're not saying don't get the packaging. We're
No.
saying the packaging means we have to
You just
support
need
other
to
skills.
Yeah, supplement the learning.
Also, speaking of shout outs, listen, folks, don't go anywhere because we have something very important to tell you about the next couple of weeks. The holidays are here. And so we are doing what we did last year. We talk all the time on this podcast about taking care of yourself. You can't fill from an empty bucket.
Yes.
You must care for yourself. And so Allison and I are caring for ourselves.
Yay.
And we are going to, for the next 2 weeks during this season
Very
when a
busy
lot of
season,
people
yes.
have winter break and are not listening to podcasts on their way to work, we're going to do something special and we're going to post for you some rewind episodes.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to some of our episodes and we're going to decide which ones do we want to rewind for you
Yeah.
and put up on what I think are December 22nd and 29th.
Yeah.
And then in the beginning of January, we will be back
We'll be back
with
for the new
brand new episodes.
Yeah.
And we may actually post an announcement about that at the beginning. I'll create an announcement at the beginning of the next 2 episodes saying this is a rewind
Yes.
because we are on winter break.
Yes.
And please do come back. I believe it's January 5th,
Yes.
2026. Unreal.
I am not even used to it being 2025.
2026. So in my family,
Yeah, you have big
2026,
news.
I have a big year in 2026.
Yeah.
At the end of 2026, oh my goodness, what just happened to my hair? I know.
Yeah.
At the end of 2026, my son is getting married to a wonderful woman who's going to be my daughter-in-law. So 2026 in my family has been dubbed the year of the
The
wedding.
year of the wedding.
The year of the wedding.
Yes.
So we will be back in the Tarabush family's year of the
we'll
wedding.
Be back in the year of the wedding.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll be back and we'll still be here every week for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being our preschool peeps. We are super thankful for you and we hope that you have a wonderful winter break.
Yes, and a happy new year.
And happy new year for
Yes.
those of you who celebrate the new year.
Yeah.
And we will catch you again when?
In the year of the wedding.
In the year. In 2026, we will be
2026.
live with new episodes. In the meantime, please come for our rewinds.
Yes.
And we'll
Peaceful
catch
goodies.
you then. Enjoy.
Bye, peeps.